Hey everyone, welcome back to another 31-minute podcast. Gav, do you say Stein or Rubinstein?
Tomato. It's kind of like...
Tell me how you say it, because I've got a Stein.
Rubinstein is how I say it, but people say Stein all the time, so I'm fine with anything. Yeah, I don't mind. I'm not precious like that.
That's
I'm
good.
precious in other ways, you know?
So we don't have too many guests on 31 minutes, but I'm really happy to have you.
Honored to be here.
Yeah.
Always like talking to you because I always learn, Matt. You know, you think I'm doing this for you. I'm getting from this.
Have we got Jordan here? Jordan?
Yeah, I'm pumped.
You pumped?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got probably 1,000 questions. So, Gav, is anything off limits?
Absolutely not.
No.
What's the point in that, man?
Yeah, because obviously you're a real estate superstar, but great businessman. We've known each other for a very long time. I'm probably more interested in you rather than real estate.
Love that.
Part of it is we'll talk real estate.
Sure.
Give people a bit of a rundown because my audience or our audience is very varied.
Yep.
With the 31 minutes.
Yep.
Like, who are you?
Yep.
Where you're from?
Yep. And
tell us about your amazing business.
Cool. Gav Rubinstein, 36 years old, born in Australia. Parents migrated from Africa, Zimbabwe. What can I tell you? Father was a pharmacist. Mother was a beautician. I sucked at school, flunked at school, wasn't really interested in school. And then when I finished school, I moved to London, ran some nightclubs over there, had a freaking ball. Like if I'm telling you,
ones? I love partying in London.
So Nick House Entertainment was the company I worked for. And by the end of my 2-year stint there, I was doing a Tuesday night, a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So they were like a promotion company that looked after specific nights. So back in the day, I don't know if these clubs are even open. I don't think they are. China White. I did Kensington Roof Gardens on a Friday.
Oh yeah.
So no, I had a lot of fun, like for an 18-year-old kid without any like responsibility. Getting drunk, getting paid to get drunk and have fun.
The drugs are very good over there too.
I actually was. I was never into it.
I was.
But alcohol's a drug, so I guess I was definitely into the alcohol. And then I got to travel in and around. I never traveled much when I was younger. My parents didn't have the money for that, so I found when I was central, based in London, I had the ability, because I didn't have much responsibility. I was running nightclubs, to hop around. So I met people who took me to Saint-Tropez, and then I went to Mykonos, and I went all around. By the end of that stint, I thought, like, this nocturnal lifestyle isn't for me. Would have been about 20.
How long was that?
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, so about 20. And then I was kind of like, what really are my options here? I didn't go to school, university, don't want to go to university. Pretty decent with people. Always found, I had a natural propensity to connect irrespective of who you were, where you were from. Didn't find that labor, it wasn't hard for me to do that. And I had expensive taste. I liked the fact you could make an uncapped income without a tertiary education in real estate. And plus at that time, the wrong reasons probably attracted me too. Like I saw people in nice suits like Jordan's flash pinstripe. I liked the look of that. And I saw these real estate agents hopping in and out of cars. And those are probably couple of the wrong reasons that attracted me to the business, but I'm glad they did.
But let's face it, a lot of people like that.
Correct.
Like a lot of people get into it because it's like they think they're going to drive around in a Rolls Royce and show a few houses and off they go.
Correct. I think it's easy and flash, but it's the furthest from that, right? Then gave real estate a go. I was an assistant for 2 years. Enjoyed it. Just kind of was like, shit, I was born for this, as crazy as that sounds.
Can we stop there for a second?
Sure.
With the assistant role?
Yeah.
Was that like at the bottom? Like what did you do?
Getting coffees.
Talk me through that, because you're not the Gav Rubinstein TRG is not. I want people to understand this.
Sure. No, I appreciate that. I was getting coffees. I was supporting 2 agents because, I wasn't supporting an agent like you. I wasn't supporting a superstar. I was supporting guys who couldn't afford to pay my minimum wage salary as one. So it was 2 people. So I was getting them coffees. I was packing open for inspection kits. And my main role was really, outside of doing everything they needed me to do, get in the door. That was like objective. I remember day one, Carly Hurwitz, now she's a buyer's agent. She printed a list of houses, numbers. She said, I'm going to do 2-3 calls for you. And then, sink or swim, it's over to you. And then I got on the phone and off I went, just getting them door after door after door.
So you're a prospector?
Complete, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, glorified telemarketer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Served you well.
Yeah, it did. Well, people used to say I was a little telephone terrorist, right?
Yeah.
And I was.
Yeah.
Still am in a different sort of way now. But it kind of shaped a lot of my experience now, because it gave me a comprehensive understanding of every facet of the business, from like A now all the way through to, where would I be up to in my career? Maybe
in the middle.
N.
Yeah.
Oh, I still got a while to go. But it's obviously helpful in relation to understanding how it all works. Yeah.
So on that note, do you rate cold calling prospecting now?
At the highest level. At the
Are you listening?
highest
Donald Trump?
level.
Huh? Every
I gotta
day I'm
tell you-
banging Jordan's head on the table.
Oh, it's the key. And I mean, like, not only cold calls. I mean, that it depends what you like, right? Knocking on doors is key. I know you built your gig that way. But cold calling, cold prospecting, there is, for better, use of a word that I actually got from you, there is a stream. You know, the stream you talk about. There is a stream that you can tap into through cold prospecting that is worth millions and millions of dollars, particularly in my marketplace. I know your marketplace too, quite lucrative. You guys sell some expensive properties over there. But, some of the new people who start here, if they've got the work ethic, they've got the intent, the initiative, and they do it consistently, they're really bringing lots of business our way. It's been great.
For sure. And so your area, this is Rose Bay, where we're at the moment.
Yeah, so I cover eastern suburbs, but the office is in Rose Bay. Got an office in Wallara too, which is more inner city, kind of suburban type living. And then this is harbourside living.
Okay. Expensive houses around here.
Very.
Like the Packers live down here.
Very. That little house across the street, I don't know if you saw, that's $30 million. You got to knock it down.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I love these units across from the water, across from the marina here.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Awesome.
What's one of those units worth? Like a good, there's like a thorny coloured building. It's like just 3 levels. I don't know if you know the one, but it's like
one just sold in there about 10 mil.
10 mil.
Yeah.
Just for
it's
a unit.
noisy too though, right? Because it's
on
on
the
New
main
South.
road.
So, but it's a big unit. But that's circa what you, about 300 squares internal. It's about
So did you start in this area?
I did,
This is where you started?
Yeah, I went to school I went to school in Queens. Yeah, so I went to school in the East.
So where'd you go to school?
Mariah, and then I went to Redham House.
Are they private?
Yes.
How did your parents afford it? Because I met them at ARIC years ago. You brought them to ARIC.
That's kind of when we first met.
Yeah,
you were
right.
up at the back.
Yeah.
I was like, this shadow, big shadow of this guy. I'm like, are you a real estate agent? Or I was like, Matt Steinway, man, I know you.
Your parents, they were really nice.
Super nice people.
So how'd you go to private school if you had no money?
Well, so my mother had one non-negotiable. I don't know where it came from, but the non-negotiable for her was Jared, and Jared's my brother, who's CFO of the business now. They've got to go to private schools. Don't know, and kind of like I've not even actually spoken to her about why, what was the motive, what was the reason, but that was her gig, and look, it almost killed them in terms of the arguments, the stress, it was a burden I grew up with almost every day. My dad having to pay these school fees and struggling.
Especially schools around here, they cost a bomb. Like it's not just the school, it's the excursions and the uniforms and the things and the.
He was paying them off for years after we finished.
No way.
Yeah, of course. I remember Mariah used to do deals where they would kind of allow what's lay-by for school fees. I don't know. After. And he kind of, I mean, we were those people, right?
Did you feel bad at school? Like, did you feel like the poor one?
Oh, definitely. Not that I felt ever bad at school, but I definitely was surrounded by people who had a lot of money. And so I guess instead of feeling bad, I was almost exposed to lifestyle,
motivated you?
Yeah, things that I didn't even kind of know existed. And through relationships I built then that went deeper. Like we talk about me having a good propensity to connect with most people. So I always got along with everybody, right? Not saying everybody liked me, but I got along with most people. And, just certain girls I dated who came from particular families who then take me on their vacations with their families. And like, I was like, what is this world that I'm living in? You think about certain pivotal times and experiences that you have that kind of shape the person you are and become today. And I definitely think that there was a lot of those, attributes that contributed to a drive, I guess. So
you worked for a company and then because I want to get into the person, but I want to give people a bit of background.
Sure.
So you worked for Ray White, was it? Or
when I started as an assistant?
Yeah.
I started at Ray White, man.
Yeah. And then, so now it's TRG.
Yep.
You have
still connected to the White family, but
yeah. We watch you on Lux listings. So it's like, this office is pretty amazing.
Thank you, sir.
How much did it cost to fit out?
$3 million for the fit out.
For the fit out.
For the fit out.
The shop cost $5. Yeah, right. Was that a jump in? You're like, Like I know what it costs to open offices.
Yeah,
and
of course. No,
Like,
no, it was big. I mean,
we spend $1 million to open one.
Yeah.
Like as in the fit out, you spent 3 times that.
Yeah.
It's very impressive.
Yeah.
Like, was that like scary for you? Was it like?
No, I don't know why.
Tell us about it. Talk it through it. Tell me.
No, it probably
I'm
should have been.
interested.
I mean, look, in typical Gavin fashion, I bought a house, the office, and I settled on both of them within the same year. At the time, I was stressed, I think.
Yeah.
But, I kind of move at such a pace whereby I don't allow myself to get bogged down and like to transfer negative energy into positive energy. And so I can shape stress to use it positively to drive me to work really, really hard, drive the business hard. And so, like I say, at the time I was stressed, but then now, we settled on this 3 months ago, but it was delayed maybe a year. And then I settled on my house about a year ago as well, but it was all within the same period. So
is that a new house? Because I know you bought a duplex.
It was a new house, yeah.
Was
Not
that the
freestanding
duplex
house.
one?
Yeah.
So is it a different one?
No, same one, new house. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
see, we hear about these things up on the coast.
Yeah. I
Gav
love
Rubinstein's
that.
house.
Yeah.
Stein.
Yeah, I bought a new house and gutted the shit out of it.
Did you?
I did, yeah. And then now looking back, I'm so glad I did it. It's kind of like
it's one of those things.
Yeah, like the pattern is be stressed for a little bit, then set the targets to overcome the stress, transfer the energy, overcome the targets. I don't know. My whole life I've just done it. So it's a belief system, right?
Because once you're in, you're sort of like, it's like you adjust and you, as long, well, let me ask you on that, right? Because you drive a Lamborghini around, don't you?
No, I sold the Lamborghini.
What do you drive now? Freaking spaceship.
I've got a few cars.
Tell me about them.
I'll tell you, the main one I drive is a G-Wagon. I'll tell you that.
A G-Wagon.
Yeah.
They're the ugliest.
I love them.
They're the ugliest cars. I don't know why people drive those butter.
Man,
it looks like a tub of butter.
I sold the Lambo for that, and everyone said I was crazy, but like I really enjoy it.
Let me ask you this about a Lambo.
Tell me.
All right. I drive a Land Cruiser. So it's like with a cracked windscreen. So you buy a Lambo.
Yeah.
Do you have a loan on it?
Yes.
Yeah. How do you put Ks on that thing? And are they worth nothing after a bit?
Well, no. So by the
talk
time
me through that.
So by the time I sold the Lambo, I didn't know anything on it. So I owned it outright. So then when I sold it, I got the money, but then I bought another car. So you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, really.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I put Ks on it.
Does people want to buy them with Ks on it?
Yeah.
Do
I
they?
mean, luxury cars have gone insane. It's not how it used to work, but based on what the market is doing now, particularly for those cars, specific cars, you do pretty well out of them, man.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. I'll stay in my same car. So you got a G-Wagon. What else you got? Rolls Royce, I think.
I've got a Rolls I keep around. Yeah.
And what else you got?
Well,
come on, that cheeky smile of yours is like, tell us. You said nothing's off limits.
No, it's not. My only issue with that is like, like you say, people know where you live, then they're like cars and they want it back. Then before I know it, I'm away on a holiday and a vacation.
So you got a few good cars.
Yeah, I got a few
good cars. Good. It's good on you. You've earned them for sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So tell me some advice for Jordan, okay? You can jump in. You've been busting to come down and ask Gavin some questions. You're sitting there like a mannequin.
No, I'm listening. I'm waiting for you to
jump in.
He's taking it in.
You're on course, and I'm waiting for my.
Jordan can you give Jordan some advice with investing and things like this?
I probably know more what I'm.
Go.
Yeah. So I'm trying to fill the gap up between you were a telephone terrorist.
Yep.
So obviously you've just worked your way into like momentum.
Yep.
I'm probably what 6 years behind you maybe? How long have you been doing for? 15, 16?
16.
Yeah. I'm like, where did it click for the Rubinstein brand and where, like, because we work together, we do everything together pretty much. So I list, but also support Matt. We sell together. We just went to a listing presentation this morning. Like, we're very connected in everything that we do.
Yep.
And I'll always stay with Matt.
Yep.
Always.
Yep.
So it's probably more that middle bit in your career.
I might sack you.
Maybe. Well, I hope not. I'll be like a koala on your leg. No, I'm probably more interested, like, from here forward, where does that look like for me? I'm being selfish. I'm asking for me, but there's probably a lot of other agents that are in my position thinking the same thing, because you also become real estate phenomenon.
Yeah.
And then the brand went huge.
Yeah.
And then attention come from outside of real estate.
Yep. Can I ask what's important to you?
I just like doing a great job. But like what you said in the beginning,
it's got to be more.
Nice things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you like doing a great job.
And I love winning. I like
destroying. Are like him.
Yeah, I'm exactly like you. Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah, but I also like winning. Like we
like nice things.
Like nice things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing a great job. Like I love getting great prices. I like when owners are like, that was a phenomenal experience.
Yeah.
And I also want to beat the living daylights out of everybody that we're competing against.
Love that.
Yeah.
And knowing you, I'm going to jump in because brand is important to you.
Brand
so you look at
important,
Gab and his brand and you really resonate. So do I, but you resonate with that. And that's sort of how you see.
Yeah.
Knowing you, that's one of the most appealing things.
I feel at some point there'll be more than real estate for me.
Yeah.
That's probably like, I'm just not sure what that is yet.
So I've got a really simple mind. And I like to keep things as simple as possible because otherwise you lose me, right? And I kind of worked out what was important to me, divvied it all up. And that was a little bit overwhelming because there was a bunch of shit that was important. So I'm like, how do I simplify this? Okay. Become a phenomenal real estate agent, putting me in a position to earn X, and then everything or most of what's important to me I'll be able to achieve as a byproduct of earning X.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I did.
Right. It's kind of.
What do you write you?
The last 2 years I've done personally just under 6.5. I did 6.4 2 years ago, 6.3 the year before. Yeah.
That's good. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're the number one. Are you number one in principal in the universe?
So not the universe.
Well, I saw the thing. It was like the world.
If Ray White is the universe, then yes, I am the universe. But Ollie's actually number one salesperson. I got now number one principal. So it was a very important time for the company.
Understand.
Cool.
Mate, you've done incredibly well.
For Ray White,
full credit to you.
Thank you. So
that makes complete sense.
So to
and
me,
then everything else just starts to evolve, but you're not intentionally creating it.
I just cut everything. How do I do that and not get distracted? So I knew in order to do that, I had to become obsessed. If that's what you want, and that's why my first question to you is, what do you want? Because you can't be the best at something without being obsessed with it. Right. So I became obsessed with it. So what does that look like? It means when I wake up, I think about it. When I go to sleep, I think about it. Every second of the day, I think about it. None of my actions for 1 second, if they're not mapping towards that, I'm going to spend any time on it. It's just anything I see, experience, feel, touch, taste, I'm going to correlate to it. Like that's what, to me, obsession looks like. And I did that for long enough to the point where the penny eventually dropped, right? So if you do the right work, you do smart work, eventually it compounds over time in the same area, exactly like Matt happened for Matt, right? And eventually it got there. And then kind of, to me, it's always about how do I remain motivated? How do I remain excited? Because I've got to keep my energy high. I got to keep my energy excited. I got to keep my energy positive. And then with the shift of, number one for Ray White, number one, and then starting my own business. Well, now, how do I do that with the business? Again, the exact same concept. If you think about it, look at the business GCI. Well, I want to earn, interests are all of these. How do I achieve that? Get the business GCI to that. Simplify it. Achieve that. And then as a result, byproduct, I'll be able to do all of these things.
On that note, exactly what I was going to ask you next. So, Gav, a lot of people are like Jordan, great salespeople, phenomenal. You've probably got a bunch of them here. And then they go and open their own business.
Oh, diabolical.
But you did.
Time.
You did. Yeah. I want you to share, because I've seen 1,000 salespeople open their own office and implode.
Yeah.
Because they're not business people.
Yeah.
But we walked in here and sat down. You just said you just had a record month last month.
Yeah.
Yeah. And excellent. But how are you running a business? And advice for people that are good salespeople.
I'll give you the secret.
Tell me what you're thinking.
It's a secret I've shared before many times. So I would say, in addition to having a comprehensive understanding of the sales process for a home in the eastern suburbs and surrounds, what I've really focused on getting good at is retaining, or I should first say finding, and then retaining really good people. And that's been such a key focus of mine. Not only as agents and developing them, and in return, obviously, that they remain at the group, and it goes both ways, but just good people in certain positions. A big piece of it, when we're completely honest, and that's why I said retaining first instead of finding, a big piece of it is attraction. Big piece. And so from a very, very young age, I've been building content, putting content out, right? Like before Instagram, it was Facebook. Before Facebook, it was newspapers, right? And I've just been always consistent.
Building your brand, you mean? Personal brand?
Year after year after year, building my personal brand. And I was reading actually a little post on the way here on LinkedIn, because I'm off Instagram at the moment, and it said,
why are you off Instagram?
It's very negative with regard to what's happening in the Middle East right now. And it's not good for my mind or my soul. And I'm just a little bit over the fakeness of it. You know what drives me now? I like real shit, real conversations. I like real relationships. I like real environments. Now I've got a couple of ambassador deals, which I get paid really well for. So I'll be back on in the next few weeks. You know, I'm a businessman at the end of the day.
What's an ambassador deal?
So for example, like the Bonds ad, I don't know if you saw that. So like Bonds underwear, I did an ad with them. I get paid for that. I'm an ambassador for a tequila company. I'll put some content out, I get paid for that. YD, like I do a bunch of stuff whereby off the back of the show, people contact me for ambassador deals. So they'll pay me to put content out. So that's the only reason now I really use Instagram. But so winding it back from a young age, I was putting out content. And I attracted just good people to me. And when I found that they were great at what they did, I just would not let them go. My father, you mentioned him earlier, he worked for someone for 20 years. Nicest guy in the world. Like there is not another human being like my old man. He is, well, my mother and him, they're both the best. Yeah. And I asked him when I hired my first staff member ever, who by the way is now my partner in property management, to give you an idea of how I retain people, yeah? And I said to him, this is to my dad, why did you work for someone for 20 years? Because you could have started your own business. He started his own business, but it was really late in life. And he said, look, John, who was the person who owned the business for 20 years, he made it so good for me for so long, I never even thought of going anywhere else.
Sure.
And so I was like, well, that's all I really need to kind of know. And it's not to say you're going to have 100% strike rate every time. And I'm sure, look, the business is young. We're 4 or 5 years old. Some of my key guys over time, I hope they don't, but could leave me. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot here in any way, shape or form. But whenever I've found someone good, I've done everything that I can to retain them. So my first staff member was Jerome. He was my prospector to begin with because I couldn't afford to pay him a full-time salary when I was an agent. He then became my business operations manager. And now he's my partner in property management here. We're 50-50.
I was just about to say, are you open for equity stakes in your company?
Well, Oliver Laver's just got one. He was my first sales associate ever. 8, 9, 10 years ago, however long it was. He got #1 salesperson last year. I mean, you talk about human beings in caliber, he's 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
As
absolutely.
a human being, amazing salesperson second. And that's actually what I value. So when I find that, I just like to hold on to it. And I understand where people need to go who have certain strengths in order for things to work. Like for the business, I knew if I didn't have my brother who's unbelievably intelligent at the forefront of starting it all up. Now we've got momentum, right? Now we're established. Now we know a little bit about running a business. But 4.5 years ago when we started, 5 years ago, however long, we didn't. But I knew I needed his brain in order for it to work.
Because he's got that strength you don't. And you're acutely aware of what you're good at.
Correct, which is a much, man.
It's the best thing ever.
But it's not much. So
No,
it makes
I get it.
But it makes it easy for me, right?
Yeah.
I'm good at 1 or 2 things, maybe 3 if I'm lucky. I've got to find people who have my strength in certain areas and then implement them and never let them go.
Absolutely.
That's my MO.
So I've got a business partner, 28 years, Jamie and I, Jamie. And then, John McGrath, same thing. We're attracted to John. We love John.
Yep.
So you got something more to ask? So tell me about TRG.
Yep.
Well, like it's a competitive industry around here, competitive area. So why would they choose you?
I think
same thing, like attraction branding.
I think it's a combination. I think we do things a little bit. I think we just got a bit of we got different energy. What we do, you speak to someone here and it's revitalized, it's excited, it's fresh, it's new. We're not yellow. A lot of the brands, right? Not all of them. A lot of them are yellow. Yes, I don't like that. I don't like that color, unless it's Ray White, of course, because I love Ray White.
With the Ray White thing, sorry to jump in. Are you Ray White or are you not Ray White?
So TRG is connected to the White family group. So the White family group is an overarching umbrella, which before TRG was started officially, had Ray White, Loan Market, HTL, and White Partners. It had 4 businesses. Now 5 businesses sit under that umbrella, the 5th one being TRG. So essentially, I just got
a great stakeholder in yours? Sorry.
They're not a stakeholder. They don't have equity. They're a partner.
Okay.
Yeah. So they get paid.
So you pay them a fee.
Correct. They get paid a fee, but obviously I get equal remuneration back for that fee, not monetary wise, but I got a very good relationship with the Whites.
I understand. So,
And I like having them in my corner, not only as support, but as mentors. I mean, you're dealing with very, very intelligent people. Dan White and the whole White family can teach you some things. And I'm a student first. I love to learn. And it's very, very, I feel lucky to be able to call him whenever I've got a problem or an issue, and he's always there to pick up the phone, support, work through, and I value it a lot.
Can I talk about Lux listing?
Please.
Is that real?
Every situation you see is a reenacted version of exactly what happens.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So when you were getting, like I was watching it one day and you were on your boat and then the Whites called and then the stupid show chopped off and like, because I don't watch much TV. And I'm like, what the hell? I have to wait till the next season or something to come out so I could watch what they were going to say.
Yeah.
Were you like, let's say that was obviously somewhat a situation.
No, look, it was.
But were you in trouble?
No.
Were you like.
No.
Were the other Ray Whites annoyed with you or something?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
Talk us through.
Man, my whole career, people have been telling me to slow down.
Right.
My whole career. I've had seniors mainly, little young fella just put the brakes on. And I just never really listened or paid much attention to it, right?
I think you go with what's in here.
Yeah, always. Yeah. I'm a feel guy, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've never gotten trouble from the Whites per se, but I think it's because I've always really respected them. So I've always done the right thing, which is not the same as all of their business owners, that's for sure. And I actually think that's part of why we've had such a good relationship. But yeah, I mean, when I started the brand, when I left, because, I was in a Ray White office for 10 years, I mean, that was really hard to navigate through. And then the magnifying glasses were on when I left, because I mean the most petty shit, like I'd put out an ad and then all other offices would complain about the ad I was putting out and the photos I was using and the font, and it wasn't on brand, and all of this red tape started to come out of the woodwork, which was part of why I ended up starting my own gig, because now I've got complete autonomy. I can do what I want when I want. I can open up an office anywhere. I can manage my brand however I like to manage my brand. I don't actually answer to anybody. Like I say, the White family is there as a partner and helps navigate through certain situations and vice versa. But other than that, it's very clean.
So where to for you now? Like where are you headed, Gav?
Good question,
It's
man.
like you got your 2 offices now.
Yeah.
Is there scope? Are you thinking more? Is it
100%?
Like, tell us where you're at.
I got to fill this office and I got to fill Willara. And then I'll look to what's next. But I like the idea of getting key partners and starting offices in certain areas that match the brand. Like I'm not going to start the brand in an area that's got just selling units. I mean, we've been created to cater to luxury property. The houses need to be sexy. The lifestyle needs to be there. But I've got 15 odd seats to fill here. Willara, I've got 15 as well. So it takes time, because we're not just putting any bums on seats. We want to get the right people. You have a look at everyone in here that I'm looking after, and then doing my own numbers. There's only so much time in a day too, right? So recruitment has been me as well. We've got about 40 people working for the group now, started 4.5 years ago. It all takes energy. So all in good time. I'm not in a crazy rush. I want to get the right people, but I'm always in somewhat of a rush.
Yeah, absolutely. So this around here, do you sell normal houses?
Yeah.
I mean, are there any normal houses?
Yeah,
they don't look normal.
Yeah.
Like if someone invited you to $1 million unit, like you just said, would you go?
Probably not now.
No.
Not $1 million.
What do you say? He's not going.
The only time you'll see me selling something like that.
Do you send money to other people? Sorry.
If it's $1 million and it's a new inquiry, I would do.
Okay.
If when you see me selling properties of that value, I'm selling them for clients that I know really well and only want me handling it. And I definitely will in that case, because I always look after my client's interest, no matter how expensive or cheap the property is. So other than that, I won't take on new inquiries around that price at this point. No, I'll send one of my guys and then give them the opportunity to build up their career, as I've done over the last, X amount of years.
Do you take anything when you go to a listing presentation?
Never.
You just go you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, the guys will bring.
Did you before?
Yeah, of course.
Don't you get any ideas?
Just
you're not.
No, So what I do now is I go to a listing presentation, and as I leave, my EA will send a link which outlines 3 quick 1-minute videos saying, how available will Gavin be throughout the process, Gavin's team, and then TRG track record, and then they can watch an amalgamation of testimonials from 6 or 7 of my clients put together in 1-minute videos.
So you just go and have a conversation.
I go to qualify. I want to know why they're selling. I want to know what they're looking for. I want to know how I can help them. And I want to also make sure that they're not time wasters.
So if you're up against Alex Phillips or Michael Palio or any of those guys, you just still do the same thing.
I don't give a shit.
Like you don't like, all 3 of you are very good, but you don't go in there and just go, I'm batting harder than whatever because I don't really know this person. No. Do you follow up?
Yes.
How do you follow up?
And look, again, and I know this sounds strange. Look, it depends how badly I want the business.
Yeah.
I know that may sound bad.
No, I understand.
And I never want the business because...
What do you say when you follow up?
Just wanted to see where your head's at with it. Depends on, every situation is different. Honesty is the best policy. Like if I want it, I tell someone I really want it. I really want this. And it's more so touch points. Once we send a proposal, if we're pitching, I'll always schedule a second follow-up meeting. Whether
you do?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'll present a proposal, and then from there I'll call pretty religiously.
So the really expensive houses, do you auction them or private treaty, or what do you auction?
Yeah,
even with the big ones.
Yeah.
By appointment. I'm sure you don't do open houses.
We run them. Yeah, we run them. Yeah, and I'll even look unless they're super averse to auction, then we'll run an EOI. Most of the time, auction.
And do they sell every time?
No.
Oh, right.
Do your property sell every time?
No, upper end can be on the market for a year,
Jordan
but I just wasn't sure if there was more buyers down here.
Yeah, no.
Because our 1 to 2 million turns over quite quickly. You should be able to get it sold within 30 days.
Yeah.
But
what fee do you get on a $1 to $2 million house?
Well, we used to get 3%, but that's changed dramatically. So now it's 2.2% usually.
Still better than here.
Yeah, we try and no, that's not true. We were getting 2.5, but it's just being like there's agents doing it 1 and all this. We stick at 2.2.
You've been dealing with that your whole career, though. I would have thought. Yeah. Same.
I just like to be, if people are lower, I like to be just not so high that it's like, that's.
You like to be palatable.
I like, and they can see value quite easily, so you never have to discuss it. Yeah. So I try to be. What do you charge?
My rate that I'm really comfortable at is 165 plus GST.
Yeah.
8 out of the 10 homes I sell are at that level.
That's what Booney charges as well.
That's my. I feel like that's a fair fee for the value of the properties.
It's like a $20 million home.
Yeah. So for the value of the properties I'm selling, I think it's fair. But outside of just fee and I like to deal with good people. That's really the space I'm in. Like I like to deal with good people. I've got lots of people here who deal with anybody, and they can have TRG. And there are lots of other agents there who will deal with anybody. And I want to deal with someone that makes me feel good. If I'm going to be talking to them every single day, I'm going to be busting my balls for them, which I do for every client I represent. I want to make sure they're good people. I've really developed more so in the last 6 months more than ever, a no dickhead policy.
Well, you don't want to wake up with anxiety every day that John Fitzgibbons down the road is going to ring you every 5 minutes.
It's not worth it to me, man.
So your biggest challenge building this business, what was that? And what, tell us some lessons.
It's still there, finding good people.
Yeah.
Now it's about finding, and I still attract, my best associates, all 3 of my associates, this is an interesting one. All 3 of my associates, and then the top 3 associates in this office, they're freaking guns. These guys produce big dollars. They work damn hard. They take what they do.
What split are they on?
It varies. Depends.
What's your average?
My associates get paid a minimum wage and then a percentage of what they bring in. So that's all the deal my associates are on. But average split for an agent is 60-40.
Yeah. Same.
Okay.
Yeah.
But these guys who will be 3 dominant names in the years to come, Evan Chung, Oliver Williams, Matt Kemeny, all of these guys came to me. They all came to me. I didn't find them. Yeah. And these guys are superstars. When I say Matt Kemeny, the first 6 months of this year generated leads that equated to $1 million a GCI for me. Evan Chung.
Cold calling, door knocking?
Leveraging
Do people door knock around here?
Yeah, of course.
Really?
A new guy just started.
How do you get through the gate?
We just knock on the door. People answer.
The 5 kilometre driveways.
No, but people do it. A guy, Cooper Moore, who just started with Zach Rabin, is one of our top performers. He's smashing it. He did $400,000 last month, his biggest month. Cooper's just been knocking on doors. They had a sale last Friday, 11.3, and then a week before he had a sale for 6.6. or from Cooper knocking on doors or cold calling.
I think he actually sent me a message a couple of days ago about his sale.
Yeah, he would have. He would. Yeah, follows you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
11.3.
Like the young guy sent your message. Yeah, right.
Yep. So I think so all of these three guys all found me. Like Evan, he was waiting outside of an open home on a Saturday at 4:00 for me, and he had worked out that was my last open home. Came up to me, gave me a resume, and said, "Can we have coffee next week, please?" Matt was referred to me through my network, Matt Kemeny, the guy I told you about, and Ollie Williams was the dude who kept sending me fruit baskets because he'd seen my content, right? Please meet me, please meet me, please meet me. But all of this, just going back to what we spoke about, is really a result of content, a personal brand, of putting out what I was doing and am doing on a large scale, and it resonating with certain people, right? And then wanting to be a part of it and wanting to kind of build the same for themselves in their own way. And who better to learn it from than someone who's done it?
For sure.
Makes sense, right?
So biggest lesson you've learned so far? Biggest lesson.
Biggest, man.
The biggest in business, real estate, what is that?
The first thing that comes to my mind is how precious time is.
Yeah.
Like time is just the most precious commodity, man.
Yeah.
And I've always been so relentless with my time from the start till now, and in a whole different way.
Didn't you take your whole team to like Hayman or something? Where was that?
We've done some cool shit.
Somewhere.
We've done some cool shit. And we got cooler shit too. We're young, man.
There was a lot of people.
Yeah.
Where was it? Last year. I don't know where it was. We were watching you.
You just live once.
Yeah.
You have one life, man. And I have no regrets, and I'm very, very proud of that.
Yeah, it's so good. Advice for young people like Jordan?
There's no silver bullet. Like it's I think when I was young and I saw the suits and the cars, like I say, thank God I did get excited and attracted to it for that reason. And I was just lucky. There was no I don't want to create this sense like I've got ultimate poise or anything like that. I was just lucky that who I was and what you needed to be good in this business connected. That was what was lucky for me, right? From there, I realized, well, there's nothing easy about this. There is nothing easy about this whatsoever. You've got to build it day by day, step by step, and you've got to start at the bottom and work your way all to the top. And you don't make a decent buck here in less than 10 years. Like I'm talking decent buck. Agree or don't? Yeah. You want to build a decent business, a decent reputation, something foundation. It's going to take you 10 years of going hard at the freaking ball every single day, 7 days a week. And that's why it gets more challenging when you've got older people who want to come in, who either have had a career or have had multiple jobs, and they're like, I see the money you're making. I see what you've built. I've seen, the lifestyle you've got. How do I do that? And I'm like, well, you got to be ready to start at the bottom and work to the top. I just started really young. So you want to do that now, you're going to make shit money for 10 years. You're going to have to eat shit every single day. You're going to have to get punched in the, metaphorically speaking, obviously. And you're going to have that tenacity to keep going through it. And that's a challenge, right?
100%. Next location you're going to open?
Can I say that on here?
What's in your
Hunters Hill?
Hunters Hill.
Yeah.
Great spot.
Yeah, I like Hunters Hill. But not, like I say, not tomorrow, not next year.
No, when they're at the right time.
Yeah, that's next for sure.
2 last questions. What's your view on debt?
Love it. Good debt.
Good debt. Tell us about that.
So I don't own a credit card. Don't believe in that sort of debt. But these are the lessons. These are the lessons I've learned, right? When I was an assistant.
What do you mean you don't own a credit card?
Now I don't own a credit card.
What do you pay with then?
Cash.
Only cash?
The only debt I've got is property debt.
You own a fruit shop? Where do you get all this cash from?
No. Oh, cash out of my savings account. I'm going to have an ATO on my Jesus, no, from a savings account. Actually, and that was a lesson I learned, right? Because when I started as an assistant, interesting story, I had $100,000 worth of credit card debt.
Really?
So when I was 20 coming into it, in that period, I had big debt and it fueled me to work hard. I mean, if you actually research sales in general, one of the biggest motivators is debt, right? So I think good debt is really positive.
So you just have a debit card, do you?
Now, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a business credit card.
Yeah.
Man, I've been through, I used to have one of those black Amexes, Centurion.
Same,
I used to think I was this and that. The first thing my brother did when he started, he said, give me that freaking card. Like, what do you talk? Give me that black Amex. You can't really break them. So he just took it away. He goes, I'm fucking cancelling this today. And I knew from there everything was going to get an order. But what for?
Can I ask you a question, Gav?
Yeah.
what's your take on investing into marketing to get an ROI? Like, what should you be spending? Because Matt's like, just drop letters and get on the doors. But I'm like, well, I'll put...
No, that's not true.
But you got to do that.
Let me tell you this.
But in combination...
He sneaks around and does all these things behind my back, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, I'm just going to spend $5,000 on Google AdWords so they find Jordan Bulmer. I'm like, mate, you're friggin' nuts. Give me that thing. Do not pay
I
for
like
that.
doing everything, Gav.
Have to do everything. I'll tell you this. This is what I notice.
But how much? Like, so you can spend
$100,000.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Enough.
You can spend $100,000 a month or $5,000.
If you're doing it intelligently. I'm still yet to meet an agent that spent on personal marketing what I did coming up. Still
I don't
yet.
think anyone would have.
No one.
No.
But also, like, there's a correlation there because we speak about this brand, right? And we speak, so in my mind, I put everything back into building the business, building the brand, building my name, because I just, again, simple mindset. Like, you know, I viewed real estate as a company that over time, if I kept doing the right thing by people, kept getting good results, kept it relevant in the marketplace, that share price was going to go up and up and up and up.
And what worked the most?
Let's. Did you hear what he said then, though?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say he marketed his way to success. He said he did all the other stuff. You don't want to get out and prospect, and you want to sit there and spend on. Yep. No, you don't.
You got to do both.
You don't. You got to put that as well in parallel. I get annoyed because you think you're going to just throw money over there and put pictures of you everywhere, and you're going to have a TRG. That's not true.
I was a telephone terrorist, and I did that.
Yeah.
So I was on the phones religiously, relentless. Like, I built my business off of cold calling, because although I went to school in the area, you got to remember, right? These people, what was I going to do? I was never naive to think that I could just call them and say, "Hey, I'm in real estate. Can I sell your house?" They tell me to get lost. I knew I needed to build up a name, a profile, a brand, you know, that would put me in a position to leverage.
So how did you manage our phones call nonstop? Like, I have Matt's, like, we'll pick our phones either before missed calls there probably. So it's like, it's always ringing, and Matt's like, get in the mix there and keep making cold calls and trying to get auctions set up and this. And it's from the minute you open your eyes, like, his phone is ringing at 4:45.
Yep.
Like, from then until 8:30 at night. And mine's similar-ish. I've probably got more time.
Yeah.
But how do you manage all of that just stuff all the time?
How many prospectors work under you?
None.
There you go, brother. You should have 1 to 3 prospectors, because it just sounds like you're maxed in terms of what you can do and also what you like doing, right? You've been doing it 10 years. You're not exactly motivated or excited by going to hit the phone for 10 hours a day. Why?
That's just the world's greatest prospect.
No, I don't blame you. Everyone's different, right? It's horses for courses, yeah? But why wouldn't you go and make an investment? What's minimum wage? 50, 60 grand? Go get 2. It's 100 grand a year. You guys write millions of dollars in GCI. Put them in place, show them what to do, target them to a specific area, and make sure they work in combination of not only generating leads and opening up doors that you haven't gotten into for both of you to go through, but then also doing buy work on the side to manage your off-market properties and be able to service prospective vendors through that road too, right? I mean, it's the best way to invest in your business. My best investment, better than marketing, I mean this, has always been my people. Always. And I've always been, contrary to what the perception is from some, about my team. I've always been about building people. I've always been about making sure others are winning along the way with me.
What did you say? Contrary to what?
Contrary to what the perception is of
people
others.
Perceive that you don't.
Well, I think back in the day,
I always thought you had.
Yeah, but I think back in the day, I would always say, "Oh, it's the Gab show," and it's which.
That's because you're moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Right. So, but that's always been my best investment. So I think, like, when you actually look at what it costs, and who wouldn't want to jump in the business with this team, JB, MS, and have the opportunity to get paid for an apprenticeship, because that's what you're offering them. Like, it's a no-brainer.
You've always liked us to do the prospecting.
Well, there's a blend.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you to be low-hanging fruit, the king of, because you tend to be.
Yeah.
Like,
because there's so much momentum in the team. Well, I'm very can just grab things and just,
and rock with it.
Just from what I see on the table all day, every day.
Yeah, of course.
Like, grab a listing from.
But so imagine how much you're missing. And if you had these guys in place, it would just grow it. The money lives in the team. I've always said that. I believe that.
It's true. Tell me about you personally. So you got a partner?
I do.
Yeah. Because when was that? I know that was a while ago, but it was like, I think you were like most eligible bachelor in eastern suburbs for a long time.
I don't have your bill. I don't know about that, man.
Who pinned you down? What happened?
It's actually a girl I was talking to like 3 years ago. We never physically met, but we had great banter online. And I ended up meeting her physically for the first time. She was living in New York. Family's from Perth originally. And ended up meeting her 3 years later after communicating on and off. Started this year. And
awesome.
No, awesome girl.
So that's been good for you?
It's been great.
And you got a pretty good six-pack.
Listen, the last couple of weeks I've been drinking. But
tell us about your fitness regime. So
Pilates 3 times a week. I do weights 6 times. So I'm doing, depending on the week, between 8 to 10 workouts a week. Stopped doing spin. That was my cardio. And usually throughout the course of the year, I'll have breaks where I won't drink at all. So post-Australia Day, I won't have a sip of alcohol for 12 weeks. May have one weekend, Saturday night, where I have a few margaritas, nothing crazy. And then I'll go again another 3 months till my Europe break.
Where do you put, what's your values? So fitness, is that right up there? And then how does it work? Is it, because for me, I'm fitness first and then work, but where's that for you? How's your day? Tell us how your day runs
I can't do one without the other.
Okay.
So I can't perform at peak optimal level if I'm not feeling fit.
Talk me through your day.
I'll start, depending on what the day is. Tuesday or Thursday, I start Pilates at 5. So I'm up around 4:30. And then after Pilates, I go hit weights for about an hour, hour and a half. The other days in between, depending if it's a rest day or not, I'll hit the gym around 6. And then it's full steam ahead. I come in here, I go to my first appointment. I'm very, very grateful for the fact that my diary every single day is absolutely rammed. Or I'm at that stage. And when my last appointment is for the day, I finish up, go home, like to get to sleep 10:30. Not always possible because sometimes I come home late and I need some decompression time. But when I can, then I'm up and doing it all again. I take between 2 to 4 holidays a year, depending on how we're doing. Always December, Jan, and July. And the other 2 will depend on just flow of the calendar in general.
And what time do you finish work usually?
There's no time.
No, just whenever.
Yeah. I'd love to. I don't love appointments past 8 p.m. I'm not at optimal past 8 p.m.
8 p.m. I'm in bed.
Yeah.
Gee.
Yeah. So but 7. I often have appointments at 7.
Yeah,
and my lunch is eaten at the desk every single day.
Yeah.
Or in the car. Unless I'm celebrating a sale or having a team, camaraderie meet. But other than that, it's.
Last question. What is your number one goal right now that you're shooting for? Because we're going to watch you achieve it. What is it? Because you seem to have most things now.
Yeah. It's a hard question. That my number one goal is I'm really set on. There are 2 specific blocks of land in the eastern suburbs. I don't care which one I get. I want to get either of them, and I want to build my dream home.
Really?
Yeah.
So good. I'm sure you'll do it too.
Thank you, sir.
Gav,
appreciate your time,
Thank you very
gents.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.